Hello everyone and welcome back to my Let's Play on the original game for PlayStation Formula 1, and we return to the Nürburgring for round 14 of the championship. Yes, it's the European Grand Prix, and once again we've got our protagonist, Mr. David Twat Coulthard, who's going to be our driver for the rest of this series, of course. And straight away he comes in for his pit stop where, oh my goodness, he almost misses the pit lane entirely, and he's actually hit the pit wall there. It doesn't matter anyway, because we're going to come in now, as we usually do, to change up our strategy for qualifying, which means we're going to take some fuel out of the car. I think we may leave the downforce levels exactly as it is, because it is the European Grand Prix, and you need about a medium downforce for this circuit. Anyway, we're going to refresh the tyres, even though they've only got 1% of wear on them, and we're going to go out now and start our qualifying run. Now, as I speak to you right now, we are in the middle in the UK of a Moroccan heat wave. Yes, apparently it's come from somewhere. Moroccan? Is that even a word? I don't know. But yes, so there you go. We are in the middle of heat wave, and I have to say it is baking bloody hot in this room as I'm doing this commentary. In fact, my nuts are roasting. Absolutely roasting. Is that too much information? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, let's carry on now as we have a look at the beautiful graphical engine of the original F1 game for PlayStation at the European Grand Prix. And you can see that at the moment Mr. Hill's done a first sector time of 35 seconds, and Coulthard is going to be at least 30 seconds beyond that time, but of course this is his first lap out of the pit. As we climb up the hill now, and you can see that there's, it looks like a big crane in the background. And there's all the spectators. Look at all their little dots. Look at them. And they've all got the German flags going, of course, for their hero. Well, one of those heroes, of course, in 1995 would have been Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who I do believe was he driving for Sauber then? Was it Sauber? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, who else would have been? Well, of course, and the great man himself would have also been cheered on in 1995, of course. Michael Schumacher in the Benetton car. And let's see what time Mr. Coulthard's going to put in. Well, it's going to be a terrible time because it's his outlap, so it's probably going to be 2 minutes now as we're about to cross the line. 2 minutes time for Mr. Coulthard as we cross the line, and it is going to be just over 2 minutes. There you go, 29 seconds, and that puts him in 24th position at the moment. But this is now his qualifying run, and let's see if we can get up the grid. Now, in the last exciting instalment episode of this series, that didn't make any sense either, you will know that I have finally cracked this game. Yes, finally, after 23 years? Yes, 23 years, so that's pretty fast for the hookster. Yes, it usually takes him that long to get a girlfriend. They always crash and burn after about a year. Yeah, anyway, let's continue on now. You can see that, we've got a plus from the hookster. A plus, well, I would say the hookster, but obviously it's not me driving. No, of course it's Mr. David Coulthard. But yes, we got a plus for Mr. Coulthard. That's what I was meant to say. And let's see what he does for the rest of this lap as we just brake very, very late into this sort of left-hand turny bit. Got the Mobile 1 signs off it in the left-hand side, as you can see. And oh my goodness, I am already roasting. Wowzers. I don't even know if I'm going to get through this commentary without passing out. I may do, or I may not. Let's continue on for Mr. David Coulthard. We're just about to complete this lap and see where he ends up in qualifying. Just about to come to that final chicane there, which we've just done. And now we're going to go into the final right-hand turn. Yes, very clean there for DC. Let's see what time it's going to be. Well, it isn't going to beat Damon Hill's time, but it is going to put him into... bloody hell. 4th position for DC. 4th place. Well done, David. Well done indeed, yes. I'd like to say that there's absolutely no truth in the rumour that I only picked David Coulthard because his name's David. And that's basically my name. Yes, not David. No, it's Dave. No one calls me David unless I've been a very, very naughty boy. Yes, a very, very naughty boy. And then it's David! Oh God, I've done something naughty again. But all the rest of the time it's just, alright Dave, how you doing mate? Oh, good, that's good. Anyway, so 4th position for David Twat Coulthard at the moment. As I say, in the last exciting instalment episode of this series, we actually cracked this game after 23 years, and now I've managed to work out how to get our opponents to pit during a 25% race. Oh my goodness, yes, I was so excited the last episode. I was just so excited. I was beyond excitement, in fact. Anyway, it's time for DC to come in now and put in our adjustments for the race. Now, we know about the fuel but unfortunately I'm not too sure about the tyre wear. I've done a few bits of practice for this game before I even got onto this race because I wanted to try and get the testing just right, but I'm still not sure. I think the tyres last about 8 laps. About 8 laps, yes. Anyway, let's put our fuel in. So we're going to go for the halfway mark, which is, no, just below the halfway mark. That is about 7 laps of fuel there. I worked it out scientifically, yes, through lots of testing. That's about 7 laps of fuel. So we've got to pit on about lap 7 of this race, but I'm not sure about the tyres. I think the tyres last 8 laps. We will find out though as we progress, because now it's time for the grid runners. Let's have a look then and see where we finished. In pole position, it's Damon Hill in the Williams Renault. Second place for Michael Schumacher in the Benetton Renault. In third position, it's Gerhard Berger in the Ferrari. Fourth place for David Twat Coulthard in the Williams Renault. In fifth position, it's Eddie Irvine. Sixth place for John Lacey. Seventh position for Johnny Herbert. In eighth position, it's Heinz Harald Frentzen in the Sauber Ford. Ninth place for Mick Hakkinen. 10th place for Mark Blundell, both of course in the McLaren Mercedes. In 11th place, it's Rubens Barrichello. 12th place for Max Papis in the Footwork Hart. 13th place for Martin Brundle. 14th for Bullion. 15th for Oliver's Penis. And in 16th position it's Mika Salo. 17th place for Pedro Lamy in the Minardi Ford. And 18th for Luca Badoa in the other Minardi Ford. In 19th place it's Gabriella Tarquini in the Tyrrell Yamaha. 20th place for Montemini. 21st for Take Inui. And 22nd for Pedro Diniz. 23rd for Roberto Moreno in the 40 Ford, and bringing up the rear is Delatraz in the Pacific Ford. Alrighty then, so let's see how we do. Fourth position as the lights are going out for David Coulthard, and we say go, 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 and it's away he goes, but it's a terrible start once again from DC down to 6th position already as we go into the first turn, being beaten by a Benetton and one of the Jordan Peugeots. But let's see if he manages to get, oh, he got almost contact. He had to go very, very wide there because there's one of the McLarens, and there is contact this time with the McLaren, and it slowed down DC horribly there. So he's lost 2 positions now, down to 6th place. Yes, 6th place for DC. So the car he's got to catch up to the back of is, I think, one of the Benettons, which I do believe may be Johnny Herbert. But I think Michael Schumacher may be well out in front. Now, of course, with the fact of having less fuel on the cars, that also means that the opposition cars also have less fuel. So it really, really makes now for some exciting races. We're actually racing against these cars. It actually feels like it anyway, as you can see, because we caught right up to the back of the Benetton Renault, which I do believe is Johnny Herbert, as we dart to the right, then dart to the left to try and do a switchback on him. But no, he steadfastly holds to the racing line, which you can just see on the track. It's just sort of like a darker area. It looks like tyre marks actually, but that is the racing line that we had in 1995, and I have to say I do prefer it like this. I wish you could have some sort of line like this in the modern F1 games instead of that stupid line that you have to follow in the modern F1 game. I don't like it. It just spoils the look of the track. Of course, if you're a really good player, you don't need the racing line, but once you get to a certain age you do. And but I would prefer it if it was like this, where when you get to the corners the line actually goes darker, so that's what gives you your braking mark. And oh my goodness, as I say that though, Ferrari has got past him. That's either John Lacey or Gerhard Berger, but whoever it is, the Ferrari has bested Mr. David Twat Coulthard, and he's down to 7th place now, which means he's outside of the points. Yes, outside the points, and that Benetton in front is indeed Johnny Herbert. So Michael Schumacher must be right up there with the leaders, but luckily for us, we are actually on pace now with the leaders. As you can see, everyone in front of us isn't really that far ahead. Oh my goodness, did you see that Ferrari there? It seemed to have jumped into nowhere land, seemed to jump into Narnia and then come back again. And of course, in this game, if you've probably noticed, the Ferraris are very, very erratic. I don't know if they were actually programmed too well, but yes, the Ferraris do have a tendency to disappear into the scenery at times and jump up in the air as well. That's another sort of glitch that I found out with this game I've been playing through. So yes, it's quite fun to watch sometimes. You'll see the Ferrari go all over the show. Anyway, I don't say that. Oh, there was contact from the Ferrari as David Coulthard has got past the Ferrari, so he's back into the points again. The next target is indeed Mr. McGreedy. It's Johnny Herbert in that Benetton Renault. Unfortunately, Johnny Herbert never really showed off his true potential in this Benetton Renault. He had a lot of bad luck, it has to be said, and unfortunately didn't last very well in that car, which was a shame, because when you're in sort of the best car in the field, it's somewhere where you really want to show off your true potential. But unfortunately, also in that car was Michael Schumacher, so really you were never going to shine that much, were you? Anyway, let's see if Mr. David Coulthard can get past Mr. Johnny Herbert, and he's still fighting with this McLaren behind him, who's trying to get past Damon Hill. His teammate is currently in the lead, but look at the gap though, it's only 2.9 seconds. This has really tightened up the field. Now we know about this glitch. Yes, it really has tightened up the field. Before, when we had lots of fuel on board, they were away and gone and we couldn't catch them, but now we are catching up to this field, and look at them. We got 4 of the leaders now directly in ahead of us. One of those is Johnny Herbert. Let's see if we can go down the inside of Johnny Herbert. We do seem to have a little bit of slipstream as well since we found out about this glitch. I don't know if it's real slipstream or whether it's just because of the lighter fuel that they've got on board, but we do so. Oh my goodness gracious, we get contact with the Jordan Peugeot. We managed to get past Johnny Herbert though, so up into 5th position now, and there is the Jordan ahead of us. He's battling with the Ferrari, either of Berger or Lacey. I do believe it's Berger. I think it's Gerhard Berger. So 3 laps have now been completed. Damon Hill still in the lead. Schumacher is in 2nd place. Eddie Irvine is in 3rd. Berger is in 4th. And Mr. DC, of course, is in 5th place, with Johnny Herbert behind in 6th position in that other Benetton Renault, the all-conquering Benetton Renault of 1995, of course. They went on to win the championship. But a lot of people said they only won it because they were cheating. Anyway, enough of that. Let's continue on as we try and get past these 3 leaders in front. Look at the Jordan Peugeot as it pulls right off to the left-hand side. But we're still chasing hard on this Ferrari. Yes, let's see if we can get past this Ferrari. 5th place at the moment for David Coulthard. So there they are. They're darting all over the place once again. So we're about to go through this left-hand, and now you just keep it on the throttle. You just keep it on the throttle here. And oh my goodness, we're like a sandwich. We're trying to find a gap. We're trying to find somewhere to get through these 3 cars. We're going to go to the inside. No, oh, they make contact almost. We make contact with the back of the Ferrari, but we're still steadfastly holding on. This is, of course, Gerhard Berger in that Ferrari of 1995. It was a very heavy car, of course. A V12 engine Ferrari, and lots of people complained about it, including, of course, both the drivers, who didn't like it very much indeed. But as we say that, we tried desperately to get past the Ferrari. We have done so. Now it's time to get past the other Benetton, and we do that as well. Wowzers, absolute wowzers. So where are we now? So Hills, after 4 laps, is still in the lead. Irvine in 2nd. Coulthard's now up into 3rd position. Yes, 3rd position. And Eddie Irvine is in 2nd place. Now, in the last race, I didn't even realise that Eddie Irvine had won that race. No, I was so excited about finding out that the AI could do pit stops. I didn't even but luckily you very astute viewers out there managed to spot that Eddie Irvine won that race, and it was fantastic. I think it was more to do with the fact that the cars were pitted, and so it put everyone out of positions. But yeah, it was a fantastic thing to see Eddie Irvine in a Jordan Peugeot win that race, and at the moment he's doing very well indeed as well, because he's in 2nd place at the moment, and we are trying to get past him as we try and go to the inside. Look at the beautiful livery on that car. Absolutely love that Jordan Peugeot of 1995. Oh no, I don't believe it. This is very unfortunate, but David Coulthard has now taken the rear wing off Mr. Eddie Irvine, so he's not going to win this race, unfortunately, because he's going to come in to the pits to make a pit stop. Oh my goodness. Well, that was a complete accident from DC there. He didn't mean to do that, but yes, the rear wing has now gone from Eddie Irvine's car. So now we are right up amongst the leader now, and that leader is Damon Hill, our teammate, of course. Look at this. We have not seen racing like this since I don't know when, but not during this series, of course, because it just hasn't happened. No, but now it has, because of the glitch and the fuel glitch, and hopefully we're going to manage on these tyres. I hope so anyway. So 5 laps completed now. Hill still in the lead. Coulthard in 2nd. Berger in 3rd. Blundell in 4th position now. Michael Schumacher in 5th. And Johnny Herbert in 6th position. We are just 1.1 seconds behind Damon Hill now. And we are inching ever closer to the back end of that beautiful Williams Renault of 1995. With the beautiful Rothmans livery as well. You can see it on this car, of course. Not very well, because of course the graphical engine of 1995 was very poor indeed. Very poor. You can just about make it out. Of course, they fixed that for F1 97 because unfortunately this game uses the low resolution graphics of the PlayStation. The original PlayStation could manage two graphic modes. That was low resolution and high resolution, but when the PlayStation first came out, a lot of developers couldn't get to grips with the higher resolution, so they had to make all the games in the lower resolution, and then later on you saw a huge graphical improvement in PS1 games, and that was due to the fact that they managed to work out how to switch to the high graphics mode. Anyone who's ever played Tomb Raider will know that they started in very, very low resolution graphics and then improved as time went on. Anyway, we're going to come into the pits now and make our pit stop. From second place now down to sixth position. Let's have a look at the tyres. Well, they weren't too bad actually, about 40%. So we're going to put lots more fuel in now to take us to the end of the race. We're going to put in 3/4 of fuel. But I'm not quite sure about those tyres. We've got some damage to the rear wing which has got to be repaired. So a 20-second pit stop for Mr. Coulthard. And he rejoins now in 16th position. No, 17th place. Oh my goodness, he may end up right at the back with the 44s and the Minardis. If he's not careful, he rejoins the field. There's more cars going past. That was indeed a Minardi. But of course, we are going to catch up to these back markers very, very quickly. Because some of these back markers were at least 2 seconds a lap off the pace. Yes, 2 seconds a lap. Of course, in modern Formula 1 you would never see that anymore. Even the Manners of their day would not be that slow, but of course in 1995 you had some very, very slow cars out there, and one of those is of course the Minardi, and that's the car we're trying to get past right now. Let's see if DC manages to dispatch this Minardi pretty quickly. It looks like he's going to. There's 2 more cars up ahead. Of course they are back markers. He's down to 18th position at the moment. But we're not going to panic now. We're not going to panic because the other cars are definitely going to have to come in for their pit stops as DC dives down the inside of the Minardi, so up into 17th position now. Hill still in the lead at the moment after 7 laps. Blundell in second. Berger in third. Johnny Herbert in fourth. Hakkinen in fifth. And Michael Schumacher in 6th place as we go past one of the Jordan... That, of course, must be Eddie Irvine as he whacks us in the backside. Thank you, Eddie. That was very, very kind of you. Of course, he had to come in for a pit stop to get a rear wing, and then he's obviously not too happy about Mr. David Coulthard for having to do that. So he likes to give him a little nudge up the derriere. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Eddie. That was very kind of you. Anyway, let's see how we're doing. We've got a car in front of us, and it's Gabriele Tarquini in the... Oh, my goodness, there's more contact from Eddie Irvine there. Please calm down, Eddie. Please calm down. It wasn't our fault. It wasn't Mr. DC's fault. Anyway, as I say, we've got Gabriele Tarquini in front of us. Oh my goodness. Anyone who remembers him from the touring car days will know that he was an absolute nutty fruitcake of a man. Absolute nutty fruitcake of a man. He really was. I'm not saying he didn't go for a gap, but there just wasn't a gap and he just went for it anyway. He was absolute madman. Absolute madman. But everyone loved him. And there he is. He made a very rare appearance in Formula 1. He didn't last very long, but there he is. Gabriele Tarquini. One of the masters of touring cars as we get past quite a few more cars now. These are all back markers, of course. As Mr. DC goes very, very wide there. Very, very wide indeed. 8 laps have been completed now. Hill still in the lead. Berger now in second place. Blundell in third. Herbert in fourth. And we're up into 13th place now for Mr. DC. Hopefully soon, very, very soon, some of these cars are going to start pitting. Well, I hope so anyway, otherwise I'm going to have some serious egg on my face. And look at that, as I say that, as if by magic, one of the LaRousse cars goes into the pits. What a fantastic sight that is. Absolutely beautiful to see the cars coming into the pits, already up into 12th place. But look, there's quite a few cars in, and we're up into 9th position now for David Coulthard. This is where the real excitement goes as we just pass the cars as they're going in for their pit stop. Oh my goodness. Wowzers, that is such a great thing to see, especially after 23 years of playing this game, to finally find out that yes, that's what happens because they put the same fuel in as you put in. It's just like a rubber band actually. Everything you do is replicated by them. Anyway, let's continue on now. 9th place at the moment for David Coulthard as once again he gets whacked in the back by Eddie Irvine. Eddie, please calm down. Please calm down. Jeez Louise. It wasn't that bad, really. It wasn't that bad. It was just a tiny little tap. Just a tiny little tap. Anyway, we continue on now. And Berger is currently in the lead at the moment as we go past this Ligier. So up into 8th position now. The 2 cars in front of us. One of those I think is a Benetton. Look at them, they're fighting like crazy people in front of us now. As Mr. DC continues on to try and get past the rest of these cars. And it's Oliver's penis. Oliver's penis is in front of us, everyone. Oh my goodness, what a career Oliver had. In fact, at one point he was... Oh, and they come into the pits. Oh, it's glorious. It is. It brings a tear to my eye every time I see that now. Yeah, Oliver's penis. He had quite a good career in Formula 1. He was really going to be a rising star, but unfortunately that star did fade towards the end of his career. And Mr. David Coulthard's made it up into the points, everyone. Yes, up into... Oh, no! He's been passed now by Eddie Irvine. I don't believe it. He is so pissed with DC. Absolutely pissed off he is. And he's passed him, so he's lost a place out of the points now at the moment. But hopefully he will get that back as he passes Mr. Eddie Irvine once again. And hopefully he doesn't take his rear wing off. Otherwise he's probably going to get out of the car and come at him with a bloody hammer or something. Or, you know, a chisel or a spanner or something like that. Anyway, he's probably got one in the side of his car just waiting for such emergencies to happen. Because, you know... say no more. Say no more. Shut up, Dave. Shut up or you'll get into trouble. So let's see if Mr. Coulthard can get past Eddie Irvine once again. Johnny Herbert is currently in the lead of this race after 10 laps. Yes, in the lead, everyone. In the lead. And of course the Benetton Renault. 43 seconds up the road as well at the moment. 43 seconds up the road. Okay then, let's see. Oh no, I don't believe it. He's been tapped up the back. And he's lost his rear wing. Now, fortunately, in this game, it makes absolutely no difference to the handling. Absolutely nada. No, it's just cosmetic, the rear wing on these cars. Unlike the front wing, which does lose you handling, and you do start to get all understeery and oversteery and all those steeries, basically. But in this game, it makes no difference. So we can just continue on now until the end of the Grand Prix. So there's only 6 laps remaining. The next question is, are the tyres going to last until the end? I think we did, is it 6 laps? And then we came in and we had 40% wear. So I don't know. I'm sure they'd last to the end. Anyway, 4th position now at the moment for David Twat Coulthard in this rather curiously looking Williams Renault at the moment with its no rear end on it. No. As I say, it makes absolutely nada difference. John Alesi is the car behind us in the Ferrari, of course. The Ferrari. Okay, he's going to have another look down, see if he can get past Eddie. Be careful, DC. Be careful. And always contact, more contact. But he gets past once again. So up now into a podium position for DC. Yes, 3rd place. Johnny Herbert still in the lead after 11 laps. Oh my goodness. Oh my bloody good God, as I like to say quite a few times every episode. In fact, quite a few times. So we jump over that final chicane and go around the final right-hander. Are there going to be more cars coming to the pits? Is Mr. David Coulthard going to get into the lead of this race as we go down the pit line now? Let's have a look. I'm just looking off to the right, see if there's any more cars in. I can't quite see me there. We've got 5 laps remaining of this Grand Prix. And oh, was that a car coming out of the pits? Oh no, I don't believe it. Eddie Irvine's got past us once again. What the hell is going on with Eddie Irvine? He is so pissed in that car. So pissed with DC. It's unbelievable. So once again, DC has lost the place to the Jordan Peugeot driver. And he's going to have to fight and try and get it back again. Mark Blundell is currently in 2nd place. Wowzers. Absolute wowzers. So we continue on. Johnny Herbert's still in the lead at the moment. Coulthard's 28 seconds behind him now in 4th position. And it is so hot in here now that my arse has now welded itself to the seat. That's it. I'll just have to sit here forever. Anyway, let's see if we can get past all these cars in front. There's a gaggle of cars. Look, 4 of them all jostling for their positions. There's a couple of back markers here. Oh, Jesus Christ. And David Coulthard goes straight into the back once again of Eddie Irvine. He's not going to be very happy about this at all, is he? No, he's going to be very, very angry. He's going to get very, very peppery with that spanner later. Yes, he is. Anyway, we get past him once again. And oh dear, someone's come online. That's quite embarrassing for the video, isn't it, Dave? Yes, you forgot to switch that off, didn't you? Anyway, another car's coming, and it's another LaRousse car. So are we going to gain any more positions as we're just about to cross the start and finish line? There's more cars in, there's more cars in. Let's have a look. Has he got into first place? Has DC got into first place after 12 laps? No, still in first. Oh my goodness, and DC goes off and he's lost a huge amount of positions. Look at that. Oh no, disaster for David Twet Coulthard. He was in third place, but now he's dropped down to 6th position. Just one single solitary World Championship point is on the card at the moment. Mark Blundell is in 2nd place. What is happening in this race? Well, this has surely got to be a result of the cars coming in for their pit stops. It absolutely randomises the finishing order. It just really does, because of course the cars are getting stuck behind each other, obviously, and there's cars getting glued behind each other when they come into the pit. So this is all going to hold up the field, and their finishing order is going to be all over the place, which is really, really good news for us, because we just love it when it's all randomised, don't we? Yes, absolutely love it. We don't want the same people win all the time, do we? If we want that, we'll just go and watch that fucking real life crap called the current F1 season. Yeah, anyway, the Minardi tried to get past us there, but we hold on steadfastly to our one single solitary World Championship point. Did anybody see that YouTube video about Jeremy Clarkson ranting about F1? Absolutely fantastic. And he hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly what we need to do. Yes. Rip up the rule book and start again. That's what we need to do. It's plain, it's simple, it's just easy. Just rip it all up, start again. And that's how F1 will survive way on into the 22nd century. Well, I don't think it will be running actually, because they'll all be hover cars, won't they? Flying across the sky. It'll be sky races between planets, obviously, in the 22nd century, won't it? Or have I been watching too much Star Trek? Yes, I think I may be watching too much Star Trek. Yes, I have a confession, everyone. I am a Trekkie. Yes, I know. Now look, leave it, okay? Leave it. Just leave it out. Get very sensitive about these matters. It does not mean I like to put a Cornish pasty on top of my head and start talking in Klingon and end up in these conventions, okay? That is some really weird shit, and I don't go in for that, okay? No, I am not a Klingon, but I do like Star Trek, I must admit. Anyway, that's my career ruined as we try and get past Mr. Oliver's penis, I do believe, in the Ligier, and he's trying to get past a Ferrari. Yes, a Ferrari. That's either Berger or a Lacey, as once again he gets a tap up the back, this time for one of the Saubers. That could have been Heinz Harold Frentzen. So if you go through my back catalogue, and a lot of people seem to be going through my back catalogue, which I'm very, very happy about. Thank you, you're all awesome people. That's why I leave them there. I don't delete them. A lot of these big channels, you know, as one of the 40 Fords goes into the pit, a lot of these big channels, after a couple of years, they delete some of their older videos because they think, well, you know, they're not the image that I want to portray these days. Well, the Hookster hasn't got an image. No, he just goes with the flow. Yes, just goes with the flow. So I keep every single video online. Every single one. I haven't deleted any of my videos. My first video from oh no, contact with the Ligier. My first video from 2014. Yes, 2014. The very, very first video on my channel is still on my channel, and it will remain there all the time my channel runs. Yes. And talking about anniversaries, everyone. Yes. On the 6th of September 2019, yes, that's this year will be the 5th anniversary of F1 Games PlayStation. I personally cannot believe it. I really cannot believe it, but yes, I've been on YouTube and making YouTube videos, and you have to agree, pretty bloody consistently. There's been a lot happening off screen. Oh no, David Coulthard's lost even more positions now. He's gone off onto the gravelly bits, and he's now down, out of the points, I do believe. Down, out of the points. Down into 7th place now for David Coulthard. And yes, as I was saying, I've been making pretty consistently these videos. There's been a lot happening in my life in the last 5 years, a bloody lot happening, as one of the Benettons comes into the pit. A lot of things happening behind the scenes as well, but I have managed to maintain some sort of consistency. Do you remember a few years ago when I started the All Seasons and it was daily? It was daily during the summertime. Do you remember those days? Oh my goodness. Well, I have to say that was basically because they were very, very easy to make, because I was doing the F1 F120, the F1 2004 season, I should say, which was the first career mode, and I could basically bash one of those out from start to finish in about 2 hours. So that's how they managed to go daily, yes, in about 2 hours. But now, of course, they're a lot more complicated to make because you've got the replay camera views and oh my goodness, and of course having two views on the screen at the same time. Oh my goodness, it's the last lap of the Grand Prix for David Coulthard, and I think he's out of the points, is he? Is he out of the points? I do believe he is. Oh no, this is going to be another disastrous Grand Prix for David Coulthard. And the astute among you may have noticed that we are out of tyres. Our tyres are gone, that's why we're weaving all over the place. Disastrous once again for David Coulthard. So yes, I cocked up on the tyres. I've got the fuel sorted out now, but the tyres, yes, of course they wear to the length of the circuit. They wear to the length of the circuit, and I've cocked up the strategy, or should I say DC has cocked up the strategy, and we are out of tyres. We're going to cross the line. We're going to be able to get through, hopefully, this final lap. But yes, we're weaving all over the place because there's no more grip left from the front tyres as we're about to go through the final chicane now and cross the line outside of the World Championship points. I don't bloody well believe it. I don't bloody well believe it. Anyway, here we go. And we cross the line in 9th place for David Coulthard. Oh, bugger. Let's have a look at those order finishing then. Oh my goodness, just look at how it's been. Gabriel Tarquini got 7th place. Wowzers. I don't believe it. In the championship now, Damon Hill still in the lead with 65 points. We're still in 4th place with 47. So can we catch up before the end of the season? Wowzers. And in the constructors, we're still in 1st place. So as I was saying earlier, everyone, comment on the celebratory video if you haven't done so before, because I'd love to hear from you. 5 years on YouTube. Oh God. Somebody pass me the aspirins. Anyway, as always, you've been awesome, lovely people on the internet. And as always, there will of course be more later. I'm going to go and dip my head in a bucket of ice cold water now. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Catch you all later, and good night.